Illinois Congressman Mike Quigley calls that a mistake. He joins us now live. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You just told me a second ago something's going on in Congress very much related to this. Tell us.
Well, look, there was a procedural vote earlier today where typically the Republican caucus votes in unison to move forward one of their pieces of legislation. The same 10 or 11 extremists who fought to not move forward with McCarthy's speakership and the same ones who pushed us to the brink last week on the
Debt ceiling?
bill, the debt ceiling bill, have then shut down business today. So it's the exact same reason that I believe Speaker McCarthy, an ill-timed, ill-advised statement, suggested that there may not be time or he wouldn't move forward with the supplemental to fund the war.
What does this mean, slow down funding? What would this mean for Ukraine?
Well, look, Secretary Austin just said Ukraine doesn't have time to waste. When I met with President Zelensky, both in Ukraine and in Chicago, in D.C., he said, help us win quickly. Do we want a protracted war? Clearly, our assistance helped turn the tide here. And that long-awaited offensive, counteroffensive by the Ukrainian forces is beginning. Do we really want to tell Putin right now that if he waits long enough, American will waver and he can just wait it out? Or do we want to tell them right now that now's the time that we're going to do more than ever? We've got till probably the end of summer to do another supplemental. But sending this message has done a damage in and of itself. It is clearly the speaker letting, it's not just the tail wagging the dog, it's the tip of the dog's tail wagging the body politic. Our founding fathers never imagined that a small handful of extremists would control policy in the United States.
When you talk about these extremists, who are some of these extremists that you talk about, and how can they, 11 of them, be in charge?
Sure. Well, look, Matt Gaetz was speaking for many of them today, for Roe and a few others like them. They're upset. They said today that they're upset the way they were treated like this. This is indeed the petulant child who didn't get their way and shut down the economy and our government last week. And they're taking it out on the Republican Party and really the government as a whole because no business can move forward. I have no idea when we're voting again. And this upsets the whole process. This is because, frankly, at the beginning of this term, President McCarthy Speaker McCarthy was dependent upon them to become the speaker. And now they know they have this control. And unfortunately, that allows the most extreme aspect of the body politic control what we do and how we move forward. It is indeed a dangerous time. The Ukrainian war effort could be a victim of this if cooler heads don't prevail.
It is amazing to me how Ukraine has been able to sustain this war.
Sure, I served on the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence for 8 years. This was supposed to be over in 3 or 4 days, right?
Right.
They have mounted an incredible, not just defense, but now an offense that's turning the tide. They're doing a lot of our war. This was a Cold War turned into a hot war. They are defending democracy at the very front lines, who we are as a country. But democracy as a whole is on trial here. And what we do is extraordinarily important, reminding ourselves that this is the anniversary of the invasion of Normandy, right? Can you imagine if the Speaker of the House back then had said, well, we're not sure how long we're going to continue this effort or how we're going to move forward. The world is watching us. Beijing is watching us with an eye on Taiwan. So clearly much is at stake. And that same anniversary has to remind us all, as I thought about this today, of FDR's last inaugural, when he said something very poignant for today. He said, in his last inaugural, we cannot live alone, at peace that our well-being is dependent on the well-being of other nations far away. That's the story today, and it's dependent upon us to defend democracy wherever it's at risk.
U.S. Congressman Mike Quigley, thank you so much. Be safe, be well.
Thank you.